As we hit November 1st, some changes to know about that could affect your wallet. We break down what's different for Xcel Energy and insurance premiums. After a cold Halloween, we're going to see a seasonally warm start to the month and our latest sunrise of the year this morning. And our 9 Cares Colorado Shares Drive kicks off today, how you can help fight against food insecurity in Colorado. Good morning, I'm Lauren Scafidi. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get a check of your forecast with Weather Impact meteorologist Carly Cassidy. Carly, coming off of Halloween, this is the morning where I would be taking all the Reese's and Snickers out of my kids' pillowcases or whatever it is, and putting them in the freezer to save for later.
Oh, I think I say eat them with the coffee for this morning, but the freezer. That's a good one too. So you got both options. Maybe split it, you know.
Love it.
Half in the freezer, half now. Everybody wins. All right, yesterday it was a bit of a chilly Halloween, 48 degrees. We had that cloud cover in the morning, which kept us down a little bit cooler, but really not too bad of a day. We stayed nice and dry, so costumes weren't ruined. Our average for this time of the year, 59 degrees. We're gonna get there today, even above it, and much more so as we go into the second half of the weekend. Not really feeling like the first weekend of November. Now this morning, it's definitely still chilly and cool out there. We've had a nice sunrise with the colors and the cloud. You can see a Horsetooth Reservoir, a little bit of that combo, and we'll keep that mix of sun and clouds as we go throughout today. Definitely grab the warm coat as you're headed out by lunchtime into the 50s. And then this afternoon, 63 degrees. So again, just above that average for this time of the year. And then back down through the evening, keep those warm layers around into the 50s and 40s for tonight. Afternoon high temperatures all the way across the state, wherever you are, wherever you're headed. Definitely get outside and enjoy any outdoor plans. We got 50s and 60s for most, and then 40s and 50s in the high country. As I mentioned before, we continue to warm things up for the second half of the weekend. We're talking record warmth likely for tomorrow. So we'll talk about that high temperature and our dry conditions in my full forecast.
Thank you so much. Into the newsroom within just the last 15 minutes. Denver police say they're investigating a deadly crash. They say it happened near 14th and Black Streets downtown. Drivers in the area should expect delays around that area. DPD said the crash involved a motorcyclist. They didn't share how many people died or how many other cars, if any, were involved. We are making calls this morning to learn some more, and we'll update you as soon as we hear back. Right now, Manitou Springs Police and CBI are asking for help finding a woman. She's been missing since August. Margaret Woolsey was last heard from August 3rd. She was reported missing last week. CBI says it's unusual for her to be out of contact for this long, and they're concerned for her safety. Margaret is 57 years old, 5 feet 7 inches tall, with a thin build, brown hair, and brown eyes. She may also go by Margaret Mitchum. If you know anything about her disappearance, no matter how small, call Detective Strider at the Manitou Springs Police Department. That number is listed right there at the bottom of your screen. It's 719-685-2542. As we start a new month, Xcel Energy is changing the hours when electricity will cost you the most. Starting today, peak pricing will move to 5 p.m. through 9 p.m., meaning energy is going to be the most expensive during those hours. It replaces the current peak period of 3 to 7 p.m. Experts say small kitchen appliances like the air fryers, the microwaves, that kind of thing, that's not going to drive your bill up, but we're talking about the bigger ones like washers, dryers, EV chargers, those could. The cheapest time to use power is now going to be overnight through mid-afternoon and all day on weekends and holidays. Today, open enrollment for health insurance begins, and Coloradans who buy their own coverage, independent of their employers, are going to see their premiums double. Democratic state leaders in charge of the insurance division made that announcement earlier this week. The state's Democratic leaders estimate 75,000 Coloradans will not be able to afford health insurance in 2026 because of the expected premium increase. They say it's primarily because of premium tax credits under the Affordable Care Act that are set to expire at the end of the year. Democrats in Congress are withholding their votes on a bill to reopen the federal government, demanding that Republicans extend those credits. Even if you do have insurance from your job, you can still be impacted by the rising cost of ACA plans. As more people go uninsured, hospitals face more unpaid bills, which can lead to higher medical costs and higher insurance premiums for everyone. Open enrollment runs through January 15th. Just before SNAP funds were set to run out, 2 federal judges ruled the Trump administration must continue to fund the program. However, it may be too late for today's scheduled payment. Earlier this month, the Department of Agriculture announced it would freeze payments to SNAP because the shutdown would not allow them to keep it funding. The program serves about 42 million Americans and about 600,000 Coloradans. The judges say the USDA should pull the money from their $6 billion contingency plan. It only partially covers the program, though, which costs about $8 billion. It still may be a while for recipients to see the money. The process takes 1 to 2 weeks. The uncertainty over SNAP benefits is hitting families hard, and it's putting pressure on Colorado food pantries. Schools are now stepping in to help fill the gaps. Inside Denver's Teller Elementary School, a small closet in the cafeteria has become a makeshift food pantry. You see it right here. Volunteers serve not just students, but also their families and even school staff. What used to be about 25 to 30 families a week has now more than doubled. Volunteers say demand is only growing with SNAP benefits at risk.
We've actually recently met about how we can meet that greater need coming up. And that's really why we're starting to expand our hours. We're concerned. I think that we're ready to meet the challenge, but it's really uncertain times. We don't know what exactly is going to happen.
The pantry will now be open on the weekends as well. It's technically not part of any DPS program, though some volunteers and parents at other schools have set up similar ones. Today marks 70 years since the bombing of United Flight 629. 39 passengers and 5 crew members were killed just 10 minutes after the plane took off from Denver. The FBI says on November 1st, 1955, the man responsible placed dynamite in his mother's suitcase to collect the insurance money. The sabotage was America's first confirmed targeting of a civilian aircraft. Today, more than 100 family members of the 44 people on board are expected to show up for a memorial. That includes Marion Peoplemeyer. She traveled from Columbus to Denver for today's ceremony. Her father, 31-year-old Marion Hobgood, was among those killed.
My dad's in heaven, you know, but it's that Colorado needs to know their history. I believe the whole nation needs to know this history. What I saw was heroes in action. Everyday farmers, teenagers left a baseball tournament and came out on the fields to help.
The new memorial will be revealed this morning at 11 o'clock at the Flightco Tower on the grounds of the former Stapleton International Airport. History Colorado also has a display commemorating the lives of those lost in this explosion, which runs through January 2026. A former Olympic hopeful is accused of killing an Uber driver in southern Colorado. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office says 38-year-old Jeremy Campbell's family reported him missing early Monday morning. Deputies found his car in an apartment parking lot with blood in the driver's seat, but no sign of Campbell. Uber gave deputies information showing 27-year-old Kayla Dawson was his last Uber rider. Dawson told deputies that she fell asleep in the car and awoke to Campbell trying to touch her, so she stabbed him. The car crashed into a field where Dawson was accused of dumping the driver's body, then driving away in his car. Dawson later told investigators she wanted to get some fresh air and go for a, quote, joyride. Investigators determined Dawson deliberately killed Campbell with the intent of robbing him. She's scheduled to appear in court next Thursday, and according to our partners at KRDO, Dawson competed at the USA Olympic Trials in Oregon in the shot put, but then ended up not making the team. Boulder County authorities say the last suspect in a major car theft ring across the Front Range is now in custody. The Boulder County District Attorney's Office says for the past year and a half, the group had been stealing cars, taking them to chop shops, and retitling them to use in other crimes. Investigators say the ring spanned more than 25 jurisdictions and resulted in nearly $1 million in lost property. 5 people were arrested last week. Yesterday, police announced the last suspect, Kimberly Salas, was arrested Tuesday during a traffic stop that was near I-76 and Federal Boulevard. Now all 6 are in custody and face charges related to the operation. Boulder police have arrested a man who allegedly assaulted a bicyclist with a hockey stick last week. Officers say it happened last Thursday night along Baseline Road. A man told police he was riding his bike when someone on rollerblades said something to him, then hit him from behind with a hockey stick. Yesterday morning, police announced that they arrested Taylor James Rose of Arvada. He's now facing a felony assault charge.